Howdy and welcome to the EEARSS Podcast by
There you go. Got
You
a little
nailed it,
cocky
Frank.
there.
I've never butchered one.
Cocky.
In 100 plus episodes, I've never butchered one, but here we go.
That's what you get for trying to fake me out. The universe was like, Frank.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the EEARSS Podcast produced by Terrier TV. I am Frank Robb, and I just screwed up the first possible intro we've ever done on this show, so that was pretty cool. This is Cindy. I almost said this is Bill and this is Cindy, but it's like I feel like we're on a roll right now, so we'll just go with it.
We're interchangeable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And over here we have Mr. Ernie Harvey. It's great to see you guys. It's been so long, and I've had so many things running through my head, mostly songs by the Three Stooges.
Of course.
Yeah, if you've never heard Swinging the Alphabet by the Three Stooges, just start your day right there. You don't need to go any further, and you can tell me thank you later on.
I'm going to spare you all. Don't do it.
Oh, you can do it, and then just make sure you know Frank's email. And
Yeah.
send him your comments.
Let him know how you feel afterwards.
Tell him, how happy you are that he led you in that direction.
My email's pretty simple. It's ears.org@gmail.com. We're happy to hear your comments. It'll be great.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be great. Trust me.
No, it's not bad. It's just a...
No, it's not bad.
It's
no,
just it's
no.
it's
You
actually
can't
quite entertaining.
get it out of your head. You can't.
Oh yes, it is infectious. Yes.
It's
It's
legit.
haunting
It
is
gets
what
in
I
there.
would call it.
Gets
Haunting.
in
As the
there.
kids would say, it's fire.
Yeah, that's what they say, Frank. That's
Is that
all
what they
the
say,
kids.
Aiden? Am I correct? It's fire?
He talks like the kids.
No
yes.
cap.
No.
No
What's that mean?
No cap.
No, what's
it
that
means
mean?
no lie.
No lie. Yes.
No
Yeah.
cap? What's
Yeah.
cap
No
got
cap.
to do with it?
I have no idea, Frank. I didn't come up with it. I just know what it means.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Cap or no cap.
Is
Come
it?
on,
You've heard this?
She's
Yeah.
the mother
Does
of a
Aiden use
teenager.
this?
She knows what this means.
I will tackle Aiden. That's you've heard
Frank was-
your daughter use it.
No, I haven't heard my
No.
daughter use it, but I hear the teenagers at work
Yeah.
use things, and then I have to go and Google it so I don't sound like the old person that doesn't understand them. It's like it's a thing that happens. I'll be like on my phone, like, what are they saying?
What do they say?
Yeah.
I
What
actually
is it?
saw a
What did this
millennial
mean?
to Gen Z conversion chart, which
That's amazing.
that brought it back down all the way. Yeah.
I
There you
need
go.
that, and I'll hang it on my office wall.
There's a conversion chart?
Yeah,
But it changes all the
for
time.
what it,
though.
how the,
that too.
Yeah.
the words that we would use.
But I remember when Frank was so happy that he learned drip.
Drip, yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
drip.
Dude
you
told
know.
me I was dripping.
And Frank was very, very happy about that.
Well, once I figured it
Well,
out, I
once
was
he
like,
realized it wasn't
Yes,
an
it was-
insult,
it wasn't
he
an
was
insult.
very,
I thought my
very
nose was
happy.
running.
Am I leaking somewhere?
Yeah,
What?
I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
I'm wiping my
I'm
nose.
oozing.
Figured maybe I had a
Yes.
hanger or
What's
something.
wrong?
You know?
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
just don't know.
No, you just don't know.
Yeah, it's wow. We're getting old.
Yeah.
It
Indeed.
happens. As soon as Rebecca said she was born in 2003, I just went,
I
well,
lost
yeah,
it.
it's a whole thing. That's our intern, yeah, born in
Wow.
2003.
I thought she
Crazy.
said 2002. Did she say
I,
that?
Pretty
either
sure-
way, we're
yeah.
still just
Oh
as
yeah,
old.
we are. We
Yeah.
are old.
We
Yeah,
are.
there's no doubt about that.
Well,
yeah.
you said you graduated in 03.
I graduated in 04.
Okay, so yeah, well, anyhow,
Yeah.
I'm still older than that too. All right, so you guys ready to chat with our guest today?
I can't wait
Yeah, me.
Yes.
because I hear tale that you are very good friends with Frank, and I can't wait for you to tell all of us his most embarrassing
Oh,
secrets.
there we go. Spill.
Do I
the
have embarrassing
tea,
secrets?
as the people?
Do I
as
have?
they
Do
say.
I actually have embarrassing secrets, Ernie?
He's
if
paralyzed.
You do, I don't know them. Actually, yeah, I'm paralyzed in fear. I'm like, well, maybe there's something I don't know that I
I was
should
like,
know.
I don't know that I have embarrassing secrets.
Or maybe I don't want to say what I do know.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Feel free. We're in a
How much-
safe.
how
the
much
four of
will
us
it
are in a
take?
safe environment.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do we got? Yeah.
Nobody's listening to this at all. We're in a very safe environment.
right.
It's
It's
perfectly
just
fine.
us.
What is this
It-
show's rating?
This-
So far, it's 5 stars
All right.
This
on
is-
all platforms.
This is known as the cone of silence. Nobody hears.
Talking to the microphone, it all goes away. You don't
Oh,
have to
yeah,
worry
it's
about it
just
ever.
very-
It'll never show back up again, of course. So, first off, I want to give you a huge thank you for being just really a rock in my life for a very long time. You know, your faith, your family, you've been someone I can turn to in like the hardest times, and have always been there for me to chat with. And
Well,
I
appreciate it.
love you, buddy.
Well, for you to say that to me makes me feel bad because I feel the exact same way about you. So
Yep, I love you, man.
They
So-
met this afternoon, by the way.
No,
it
I,
was the men's room.
Yeah.
dear Lord, goodness gracious, it was bound to happen. Ernie, you were actually a graduate of Titusville High School yourself.
Class of '95.
Yeah, and a
There
little
you
known
go.
secret that people might not know about Ernie. You were actually the mascot for a little while, were you not?
I did. Angelos and Frocco was most of the time, but there was a few times where I had got to don the outfit, Tuffy, I guess is what they called it back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still do.
Is it the same costume still?
Oh, no.
The
Let
irony
me tell
is,
you, mascot costumes get right really
yes.
fast.
I didn't realize at the time.
Oh,
I
no.
thought that was just me. But no, the difference was the other gentleman was quite smaller than me. So it was either a Shar-Pei or a very large Mastiff. So
There you go.
people knew.
It's hilarious. They had a pretty good idea if it was you or him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had to have.
I wonder how that's possible. So I get the idea your boy had no idea that was actually even a thing. He was just shocked whenever I said that out loud.
There's probably a lot of things he doesn't know.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
So in '96, well, I think you were a senior whenever I was a freshman. But heck, this is a wood shop.
Yeah, this was the wood
Yeah.
shop. Yeah.
Yeah,
was
this
the wood shop
This
back
was
in
the
the
wood
day.
shop, and I think whenever I was a senior, this was just an empty building.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, it was, nobody was using it.
Okay. So you are an auto mechanic. You're the owner of Harvey's Automotive there in Port St. John on Kings Highway.
Yeah.
One of the most busy establishments you'll ever see in your entire life.
Port St. John's finest automotive repair facility.
No doubt about it. It is the bomb. Yeah,
Yep.
It is the bomb. How did you get into the world of being a mechanic? How did that whole journey start?
My dad gave me a car when I was 14 and told me I could have it if I could get it running. And I decided that I was going to get it running. He couldn't. I got it done in a couple of days. It frustrated him and started. Maybe I was driving at 14. Maybe I wasn't. But
Yeah.
What kind of car was that?
78 Mercury Cougar.
Okay.
Wow.
That's the jam right there, buddy.
Yeah, you could. It was a large car.
Yeah. That's a big car.
Yep.
So what was wrong with it?
I needed a tune-up, simple tune-up.
Oh, okay. There you
Yeah.
go. So how did you turn that? It was just automatically a passion. You just realized it was something you were good at.
Yeah, I think you'll find that most mechanics are instant gratification type people. So they like to see things fixed and know that it was broken and now it's fixed, and then they want to do again and again and again to get that fix, I guess, for the most part.
So it was just like that great feeling. You're like, man, okay, I fixed one.
Yep.
I fixed one. Now, what else kind of broken things I can fix?
Yeah, and then a part-time job at Domino's Pizza would fuel that fire because every pizza guy needs brakes.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I was that guy that fixed everyone's brakes that worked there. So then it just kept, going and going and going, and it is what it is today.
Where was your first auto mechanic job at? Where was the first time you did it for the living?
A living was an auto electric shop in Canaveral Groves. Actually, it was the first place that I actually worked at. That was in 2000. Actually earlier than that, 98 to 99, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, those who don't know you, he's one of the most brilliant minds in the electrical world and the automotive world. I've watched this guy rip motors out of cars and have a new one back in, and the thing running like 6 hours later. Like crazy stuff. I've watched. So tell us a couple of the most odd or interesting automotive things you've seen. So let's not even talk about for a second. Let's not even talk about things that are broken.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of the weirdest stuff that has come into your shop? I know a couple of these for myself because of weird things that you call me about. But tell us a couple of the weird things that have ever come into your shop.
Usually the things that leave the biggest mark are critters in cars, which you know about. I've personally pulled a snake out of his car.
He did.
I actually had a customer who developed a blower motor noise on the way to my house for a repair, and come to find out it was a snake that got caught in a blower motor. I am not a fan of snakes. I'm the opposite of Frank. So yeah, literally pulled the blower motor out, saw the snake, thought I was going to have a heart attack, and just called Frank and waited for him to help me remove it.
That's amazing.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the funnest calls I ever got from you about weird automotive things was I think I just made it home. It was like mid-morning, and you called me and said, "What are you doing? I don't care what you're doing. Come to the shop right now." And I said, which he's helped me with $1 million. He drops whatever he's doing to help me all the time. So of course I'm going to show up, and I'm kind of excited because if Ernie says something like that, it's something pretty flipping cool.
Yeah,
There you
who
go.
would have thought your skill set would be needed at the auto shop?
It is needed quite often, actually.
It really is. I'm like, this has got to be something pretty cool. So I show up, and you point at a vehicle, and I'm like, okay, what? He goes, it's full of possums. And I went, no, it's freaking not. Like, is it for real? And he goes, yeah, it's full of possums. It's been sitting somewhere for like a year, and there are a bunch of them under the hood. I'm like, okay, this sounds exciting, you know? So I remember we actually handed the phone to one of your employees, and I'm like, videotape this because it's going to be epic. You know, we pop the hood, and they all go, like, what are you guys bothering us for?
Close the door.
You know?
We're sleeping.
So we're grabbing possums out and sticking them in buckets and stuff, and it was the greatest thing ever. But yeah, he did pull a snake out of my truck, which I'll tell you what, I called him and I said, Ernie, you're not going to like this, but I really need your help. And you said, I love you, Frank. It doesn't matter what it is. Bring it over. We'll fix it. And I said, remember you said that. And you know, I did. I said, remember you said that. Yep. And I pulled the car up and I said, you know, look, I got to tell you, I'm going to be super honest with you. Here's a picture of what's going on. And it's this big red rat snake hanging out of my dashboard from underneath. And he goes, get that thing, excuse my language, the F out of there, out of here. And I said, no, remember now, you told me.
I did.
You told me you're going to help me no matter what it was. And he's like, good grief, get out of the way. And the next thing I know, my entire dash is disassembled. Everything's sitting there. And he's like, where's it at? And I'm like, buddy, I don't know. I'm like, you're the auto mechanic. You tell me where it's at.
Well, you know.
And it was about that time. You go ahead and finish the story.
To be honest, I looked. We had a flashlight. We were looking under the car, couldn't find it, and I'd actually opened this glove box at first, and I saw it and thought we'd grabbed it, but it slithered into the dash. So of course the dash comes out, and the dash is completely out of the car.
Yeah, there's nothing there but metal.
Yeah, exactly, nothing there but metal. I don't see the snake, and then I'm looking, and
we're almost ready to give up.
Yeah, and then a blue piece of foam falls on my head. And I was like, oh, God, I know where it's at. So I got out of the car slowly. I walked probably about 20 feet away, and I could see it coming out of the headliner down by the windshield. And I was like, Frank, there it is.
There's the snake.
Oh, Lord.
It's the devil.
Unfortunately, I now have a new fear to add to the list.
There you go.
If you don't ride
Snake
around
in
vehicles
the
with me, you don't have to
dashboard.
worry about it a whole
Snakes
lot.
in a car.
Snakes
it's
in a
the sequel
car.
to Snakes in a Plane.
It's true. Yeah, I left my windows down while I was out working in the field, and it just happened. It isn't the first time it's happened to me either. It's pretty neat. But
You
they
did not
just
learn the
crawl
first
in?
time?
I'm not
Okay.
opposed to the idea. It's pretty flippin' cool to me. But okay, so give us other
It's not cool for the
other
snake.
weird. So other than what's some of the
Just
weirdest
chilling at home, and now he's
auto
in an
things?
auto shop.
Yeah, right. What's some of the weirdest auto things you've had to fix? You've told me some weird stories sometimes. What's some of the weird ones that have shown up? Because I'm sure you get all kinds of bizarre things.
Yeah, I do. Some customers are very intuitive to their cars. They know exactly when something fails, or they can hear a certain noise and know that it's not right. And those customers are great because they'll usually say, hey, at 42 miles an hour facing north, with winds at this direction, I get a noise. And that helps. But then there are other customers that are completely clueless. And I've had people who've had, one thing that comes to mind is I had a lady who only had an airbag light when she would drive the car, but when no one else drove the car.
I already know what's happening.
She was a very large lady, and when she'd sit in the
don't.
chair, it would short the harness, and the airbag light would come on. But whenever, even myself, I'm a big guy. There's no hiding that. But I would get in the car, no airbag light, but she'd sit in the car, the light was on, and and as a mechanic, that's where you realize that you wear more than one hat. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're a plumber when you're fixing water leaks and stuff. Sometimes you're an electrician when you're fixing wires. Sometimes you're a financial advisor when you're trying to tell the customer it's not worth fixing. But this time I was actually, I was like, I don't know what I have to do to tell this lady that it's her, or that she needs a seat.
Yeah, that's tough.
But what we did, and we fixed it, and she was good. And it was actually another employee of mine. He didn't hold back. It was Bart, and you're a big lady. Get your big butt over here. Let's see what happens. And she sat right down there. So you see, that's you. I was mortified, but at the same time, the lady was like, "Yeah, I guess it is." So we fixed that problem. It was interesting, but
I always set mine off with, I'll have big purses that I'll sit in the passenger seat, and I'll see the light come on. I'm like, oh, that's right.
You got to, at that
That's
point,
what
you
I
got to
thought.
seat belted in.
Yeah, well, put it in the floor.
yeah, the passenger presence detection
Yeah.
will turn the airbag off at certain weights, and yeah.
Y'all with your fancy cars. Yeah.
You drive a new one every week, dude.
Uh-huh.
What are you talking about?
I have no idea
The
what you're talking about.
revolving door.
Pat Fisher Nissan, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. You told me about this one when you were working at a dealership a long time ago. That was something about the light was leaking.
Yes.
Tell me about
that's-
that one.
Yeah. I got a phone call from a customer of mine. He's an ophthalmologist, and he said, "Hey, I worked at a different Dodge dealership," and he said, "My car is at a other Dodge dealership, and it is leaking transmission fluid from the dome light."
What?
And I said, "I'm sorry, I don't." What?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. And
Evidently.
apparently, what they found out was it had a pressure transducer in the transmission. Pushed fluid out of it, and basically it wicked it all the way to one connector that had a bunch of other wires, and then it wicked the fluid into those wires, which went to other places, and basically the entire harness was contaminated with transmission fluid. But the only noticeable event was the wires going to the dome light were dripping transmission fluid through the lens and onto the dash, and had I not seen it myself, I wouldn't have believed it could happen. But sure enough, the harness had to be completely replaced from headlight to tail light with no breaks in between.
That's
They
crazy.
Completely destroyed.
Wow.
Not destroyed, but disassembled the car to put it back together, fix it. It was interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird one. Weird places you've had to work on cars.
Oh, God.
Or the weirdest thing someone's brought to your establishment in their vehicle besides alligators.
What?
Oh, man. I try to be a judge-free zone, but some people will completely lock, things up in their glove box that we'll need to go into to get their wheel lock key. And, it may not be the most satiable thing to say or anything to say, but, they'll leave the pistol under the seat, but other items completely locked up in the glove box where you need to go anyhow. And it's
God.
it's not good.
Oh my
Like,
garage.
If you
that's
can
the
imagine, it's
most
probably what I
Florida thing
found.
I've
But
heard.
yeah, but
that took a turn I wasn't expecting.
it's the truth.
Goodness gracious.
But no, yeah, people just the normal rattles. The kid leaves the ball in the back of the car, and then they come in for the complaint where it rattles on turns, and you go in there and you find the kid's stuff in there or whatever. It's
Yeah.
normal stuff. But
You must get some people that call you with the most asinine descriptions of what's going on with their vehicles. Tell us about a couple of those.
Okay.
Because there's got to be people. You imagine the noises people try to explain in their vehicle.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got to be. It's
Yeah.
got to be nuts.
Yeah, I just like the descriptions of words. People give like when the car was misfiring, they said it was chuggling. Or,
Chuggling?
yeah,
There you go.
my car's chuggling. Or
I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, or I get different words and things that I never would use to describe certain car noises, and it's just hearing other people's description of the noises is actually where the humor is at. But I really can't think of anything good at the minute other than that one. But yeah, my car be chuggling. Sometimes it
It's chuggling.
I'm chuggling.
yeah.
With your experience with cars, what are the makes you highly recommend people buy? What are the makes that you would tell people not with their last dime buy?
I'm a personal fan of Chrysler cars, mostly because I worked for them for quite a while. Not a big fan of Fords. They feel like they purposely make it difficult for anybody to repair their own, much like an iPhone is. They don't let people want to repair them and stuff, but everything's so proprietary or different and not easy to do. Personally, I like Toyota cars and see them often in Hondas.
And
But,
Nissans, of course.
And Nissans, yeah.
Mhm. Do you find that there's a specific type of car that you normally see? I mean, do you see more cars or SUVs? I'm sure in Florida you see a lot of trucks. What's the typical things people are breaking on their vehicles? Or what's some of the, I learned as a kid that you put fluids in things. You make sure that the fluids are always good. You always check the oil, you check the transmission fluid. You keep all that right, and then everything pretty much runs itself and takes care of itself. What are some suggestions you can give to us?
Well, preventative maintenance is key. When I worked at the dealership, we either saw you a lot because you were there for preventative maintenance, or we saw you a lot because you did nothing and your car was always broken. So, I mean, if you're going to make a trip to the dealership, make it worth your while and just do the maintenance and keep it up, or even an auto repair facility, much like my own. But the truth of the matter is, maintenance goes so far. Keeping an eye on your car, listening to it, knowing what's going on. But for the most part, the usual repairs is air conditioning, brakes, which is probably the most important in Florida. You know, you got to stop and, and you got to be cool. But, you know, stuff that keeps cars from overheating, water pumps and radiators, things of that sort. But yeah, it's monotonous. It can be a drone sometimes, but it's the ones that come in that only make noises in certain turns, or, you know, the weird electrical problems that people can't you know, figure out, that aren't common, that excite me the most, because it keeps me on my toes. It makes me look into more of the functions of everything and see how it works, and that's the part that really gets me excited.
The things that make it tick.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, which is totally not me or anything.
Oh, no, because, you are the expert.
Yes. What are the most important preventative maintenance things to do to vehicles? And
oil
does anybody
changes.
have index cards?
Hands down, oil changes. You know,
I do that at least.
Right,
I do that.
You know, what used to happen back in the 50s is when you'd get gas, they'd check your oil and your washer fluid, and they'd do your tires, and that was just taken for granted. And then people didn't have that stuff done anymore, and now they still don't do it unless someone else does it for them. And it's so frustrating when you see very expensive repairs that could have been easily prevented just by doing normal maintenance stuff. And checking your oil. You know, you stop for gas, take an extra second look at your oil. I mean, do I do it? Probably not every time, but more often than the regular person. But at the same time, you know,
you've seen the bad end of it too. Yeah. You know what happens. It's funny. I'll be riding somewhere with him and be like, that guy right there never changes his oil. Like, listen to that thing. Holy moly.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll just look at each other and go, wow.
Yeah.
Like, man, spend $15, homie. You know what I mean?
There you go, yeah.
It's, I compare it, I would imagine it's compared a lot like to our health. I mean, you go to the doctor, you go to the dentist, you know, you try to keep yourself in shape, you try to eat your vitamins, you try to eat some fruits and vegetables here and there. You take care of your car the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that you're counting on to get you back and forth. Good Lord. Oh, man. Ernie, thanks for being on here and chatting with us.
Absolutely.
So let's say you have a minute right now, okay, right?
Okay.
You have a minute. You're looking into this camera right here.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch your business for 1 minute into that camera. Tell us all the amazing things
No pressure.
about
No.
Harvey
Yeah.
Automotive. Tell us all the things right now. Why people should come there and do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
How wonderful you are.
Okay.
How what great hugs you give.
Okay.
And maybe let's give
Great.
Yeah.
Make sure you include that
let's
in your
give-
I
business
didn't know that.
pitch.
let's give a
His
let's,
yellow pages ad says
Yeah.
that.
let's
Yes.
give a shout out to Heather.
Oh yeah, my
And the
beautiful
kids.
wife and kids. Yep.
Yep. So maybe start with that and then go into the shout out to the business.
First off, hello to my beautiful wife and kids. Harvey's Auto Repair. We do everything but transmissions and tire repair and front end like alignments. But it's a good little shop that just can handle the needs of like a small community like Port St. John. I mean, I have great friends and networks and other dealers and shops in Titusville and Merritt Island, Cocoa and stuff. But and we all support each other. But it's just important to find a place where you could get familiar with the people that want to take care of your car, that want to help you out, that will go the extra mile and point you in the right direction when they can't do what you need, but to actually make sure that your car is safe, because transportation is a must. We don't have great public transportation in this area, so when you do own a car, you're going from A to B. Do it safely. Do it to where you can make sure that you get there, good and comfortable and stuff like that. But for the most part,
Man, it's so important to have someone you can trust doing work like that, because we've seen the stories. We know the people who have been through it. Go somewhere and they claim they have a million things wrong with their vehicle, and next thing they have a $1,500 charge they got to take care of, and you go you paid $1,500 to have your brakes done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going on right now?
I've personally had that happen.
Yeah.
I had a customer the other day tell me she paid $700 to get the hood struts replaced on her car that hold her hood up, and I'm like, you're not under your car. To me, they're $20 a piece, but it's $600 or $700 to have that done. I was kind of blown away. But yeah,
people take advantage of one another. It's very sad.
It is, and that's the hard part for my business, is because so many people have a bad taste in their mouth of what a mechanic does or could do to them, or they're worried about what's going to happen. And the truth is they don't realize that, I would do my job for free if my bills were paid. And that's the worst part of my business, is the money part. I'm not so much worried about the money as I am making sure people are good and fixing in cars. But if I could do my job where my bills were paid and I had the ability and to buy things, I would do it. But unfortunately, money's involved. So
it's crazy that there's more of it feels like sometimes, I know it's not the case, but it feels like there's that persona around mechanics that if you don't know the person personally, they're going to take advantage of you. Yeah. It's a real thing that people, I imagine people are worried about.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of times why you see people going and getting 2 or 3 or 4 different estimates on something before they have it done.
Yeah.
I know you've been seeing that a lot recently.
Yeah,
too.
I'll have people who will come with me with, they'll lay out all the estimates of where they've been, and it's just like, where's the breakdown? You picked some of these places, and some of them are places I know. I'm like, you should go here. He does it great. He could do it faster than I can. This guy's the guy for you. And sometimes I'm that guy, but it's a challenge for some people to actually put trust into somebody. So that's the hardest part of my business, is to earn trust and to keep it. And then that's, to me, is the most important thing.
Yeah, once people come and see you one time, you pretty much ruin everybody pretty quick.
Yeah.
in a great way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next thing you know, you go by his shop and there's 40 cars waiting to get worked on. You guys, how many vehicles are you going through there in a day? A lot. A lot.
5 to 10 cars are probably getting fixed a day. We try to do appointments light so we could take walk-ins, emergency stuff, like little old ladies with brakes that are metal to metal and things of that degree.
Yeah, I never understood what that meant until Ernie told me one time. He's like, there's vehicles that have to get maintenance, and there's vehicles that they hit 911 and they just show up on the doorstep.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the emergency room some days, and it's like you can't turn the tow trucks away sometimes. They just show up, and it's just like an ambulance for a car. It's just like, all right, we gotta take care of some things. They don't necessarily jump the line, but when people come in with genuine issues that, like, we had one Friday. The guy gets towed in at 4:00 from Georgia on his way to see family, and his fuel pump goes out, and I'm there, I'm looking at the car. I know I can do it quickly. I'm going to turn it around for him. I'm going to get him going on the road, because the guy's going to be camping out in his car, until Monday otherwise. And I don't, I can't do that. I can't live with that in the back of my mind. So we try to handle it and make things happen.
Yeah, it's special, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you a bunch, Ernie.
I love you too, Frank.
Bill, Cindy, I love you guys too.
Yes, sir.
Another episode in the books.
Indeed.
All right. Well, you can find the EEARSS Podcast on all platforms by searching EEARSS, or A-E. Oh, my garage. It would help if I spelled it correctly.
What?
EEARSS, EEARSS.org. It's the word ears and an extra E and an extra S. Or you can make it super simple, and you can go to alligatorrob.com. Keep in mind now, Rob has 2 B's. Don't confuse yourself. Rob. Just blah. Anyhow, we hope to see you guys again next week. Thank you for your time. Ernie, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
We'll catch you all later on. Bye-bye.